No longer do they want to be paying millions and millions of pounds for a solution when they can buy something that is equally as good and gives them the same information or better for a lower cost. And that's where Metric are positioning themselves.
Hello everyone and welcome to another Parking Network video. Today I'm joined by Chris Wortley, the Managing Director of Metric Group. We're going to be having a chat about the current trends we see in the parking industry, the evolution of Metric Group, and what we can expect from the future. Chris, it's always a pleasure to speak to you. Thank you for joining today. How are you doing?
I'm great, Manoj. Thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. So I understand Metric is going through a bit of a shift towards software. Can you provide a brief introduction to Metric and also explain this change a bit more?
Yeah, sure. So Metric have been around since 1878, so we've got quite a history. We've always innovated in anything we've done. So at any particular period, we've always been considered as innovators. 50 years ago, we started in the parking sector for the first time. And we were the first company to introduce a multi-space parking meter. Following on from that, in the 80s, we were the first company to introduce card payments into our multi-space parking meters. And in the last 10 years, we've introduced software back office so that anyone can look at any of our parking meters at any time and see commercial and analytic data. So Metric have always innovated, and now what we're trying to do is to say we now need to go into software in a much bigger way to make sure we're very much in tune with what the customer of today requires from a parking provider.
Now, is this because of current market demand or because of a future trend that you're seeing?
Well, actually, a bit of it is the market demand. And so over the last 15 years, we've seen pay by mobile being a more popular means of payment for parking. However, it hasn't been as successful as everybody thought it would be. I would say today that around about 40 to 45% of payments that are made for parking when a pay-by-mobile solution is available go through that channel. But one would have expected it to be much higher than that, and it hasn't been as successful as expected. And the reason for that is because customers really want choice. A customer wants to choose how they interact in a car park and also how they pay. And so Metric are bringing solutions to market, that would be deemed as competitive to compete, but also some of them are actually quite unique and not available from anyone else at the moment. And that's what we really pride ourselves in doing. If we go back to our history, we're innovating again. We're going to be a first. And I'm really excited about that.
Sounds fantastic. So with some organizations moving away from using payment machines and instead going only pay by mobile, is that really a good idea? Should companies be paying more attention towards choice?
I'm not against it because everything's got its limit. As they say, every dog's got its day. But I still feel that for at least the next 10 to 15 years, parking machines will be required. Internationally, we're seeing countries that haven't introduced parking at all as for payments actually coming to us and saying, we want 1,000 machines from you. So they're still very popular. In the UK, there are really only a handful of local authorities that are taking parking machines out. There's a bit of a myth, there's a bit of a hype. Outside of central London, it's not happening. It's only really happening in central London, where it's a tourist base, and tourists would prefer to pay by mobile because it's more convenient for them. But choice will always be a factor, and many customers require there to be a choice. For example, if there's a choice between going to a machine and paying with a card versus paying by mobile, most customers would rather go to a machine and pay by card, because it's as quick and the customer sees it as being a more legitimate way of making a payment.
What about airport parking as a major vertical for Metric? Is there any news you can share on that?
Yeah, that's all my fault really, because for the last 11 years prior to joining Metric, I was heavily involved in airport parking. So I was head of commercial for parking at London Gatwick, which is the largest airport car parking site in the world. And then I was also head of parking, doing the same role in the Southern Hemisphere at Melbourne Airport, again, which is the largest airport car park operation in the Southern Hemisphere. So I'm very, very passionate about airport parking. Airports require a very sophisticated solution because reputation is everything for an airport. Metric have developed a product that is able to fit that bill, so it works well, but more importantly, it's low cost. And when an airport's looking in putting an infrastructure in place for parking, no longer do they want to be paying millions and millions of pounds for a solution when they can buy something that is equally as good and gives them the same information or better for a lower cost. And that's where Metric are positioning themselves. We will be able to provide solutions for car parks, both short stay, long stay, multi-story, pick up and drop off, forecourt management, the whole gambit of parking, including staff parking at airports. And I'm really excited about that because it'll give me a chance to reconnect with some of my old colleagues in the parking world as well.
You'll be at ParkX, right? For those that would like to learn more on everything we've discussed today.
Absolutely, yes. So we're at ParkX from the 6th to the 8th of June. We're actually doing two things there. One, right at the front of the exhibition, you will find our stand. So as you walk in the entrance, you will have to walk past us. We have all of our products on there, which we'll be exhibiting. The second thing we're doing at ParkX Trafex is we're sponsoring the Electric Vehicle Infrastructure Theatre, which is a 30-seater theatre. And over the 3 days, with ParkX, we are putting together a series of speakers from all over the EV industry and infrastructure. Metric will be speaking as well, and we'll be talking about EV in great detail, including panel discussions. So what we'd love to do is to say, first of all, stop off and see us on our stand right at the front of ParkX, and then whilst you're there, enjoy a coffee, and then go and have a listen to some of the talks at the EV Theatre, which I think you'll find will be very rewarding. And for those people who are new to EV, it'll help to inform them and educate them in what the possibilities are for them.
Sounds great. We're looking forward to seeing you in person at the show. Thanks again, Chris, for joining today. It was a pleasure to speak to you. That's
great, and thank you. So everybody, see you all at ParkX on the 6th to 8th of June.
See you next time.
Thank you, Manoj. Bye-bye.
Bye. And thank you as well to the audience for watching today, and we look forward to seeing everyone in the next video. Don't forget to go to parking.net to see the latest in parking.